Parshas Ki Sisa. Parshas Ki Sisa. Some amazing things happen in this week's parsha. I'm going to start with almost a question that I'm not going to answer. It's a thought that one has to think about. Is we have the breaking of the luchais, which one would probably think is the worst day in Klal Yisrael's history. The luchais, the entity that would have brought perfection to this world, were destroyed. What's fascinating is the final Rashi in all of Chamisha Chumshei Torah. When the psukim are telling Moshe Rabbeinu's greatness, what is the final words of the Torah? Says Rashi, what's it referring to? That Moshe Rabbeinu broke the luchais. Fascinating. If you were to highlight one detail in Moshe Rabbeinu's incredible career, was that he broke the luchais. That's how the Torah concludes. That was his amazing thing. It's a question. There are many, many ideas, many ways to go with this, but for starters, just wanted to throw that out as a question. Maybe it's something over Shabbos we'll talk about. I don't know. I heard this question many years ago from Rabbi Yisachar Frand in a random shul on Rehov, Washington, in the Kesser David building over there. I think Ray Frand was a guest, and I don't know if someone actually knew who he was, but I think they asked him if he'd speak with Tim Milchameyer as like, you look like a guy, they could share a few words. I don't know if they knew what they stumbled upon. This was the question he asked. There's many ways to go, but for now, let's just start with that question. You can't begin Parshas Ki Sisa without talking about the Ki Sisa, the collection of the Shkalim, and Ramesha Feinstein over here really almost points out the obvious, but in his words, his pearls, it just means a little bit more. And we know the words Ki Sisa means to lift up. You're counting Klal Yisrael, and the pasuk uses the word Ki Sisa. So Ramesha Feinstein says, Sham Tamua. Why does he use the word Ki Sisa? Should have said a different word. Says Ramesha, you know why? Because many people, or every person, whichever way you want to say it, why don't people learn, do mitzvahs, daven, do great things? Asks Ramesha. And he says, you know why? Because one says, Mi ani. Who am I? I should learn. I should daven. Or we could change the nusach slightly. For whom I am, I daven, check. I learn, check. Tzedakah, check. Chesed, check. Everyone in their own, where they believe their boxes are to check. And then when someone says, why don't you do X? It's me. Who am I? Mi ani. Mitzvah. Says Moshe Feinstein, this midah of anava, this midah of who am I, quote unquote humility, is coming to Rishos, words of Ramesha. But says Ramesha Feinstein, when you see that when we count you like a gadol. Your machzah shekel was the same as Aaron HaKohen's. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the census that happened in the Midbar? That every year it lines up and they give their one little coin, and it's the same coin as the Gadol Hadar. Putting that into our perspectives, imagine Rav Chaim Kanievsky. There's lines of thousands of people. Everyone's lining up to give their ticket to be counted. And guess what? You know who's in front of you in line? Rav Chaim. And Rav Chaim standing there with his little, and you have the same one. And he puts it in, and the ticker says 1. And it goes from 4001 to 4002. And then you come and you drop yours in, and it goes to 4003. Says Ramesha, you are as a person as great as he. When we see how we're considered, ki gadol ha'olam, that we see that you're the same thing. Now you're going to say, mi ani? When we see you, memela nisbatel, to get rid of this fake anava. So we want to count someone. We use the word kisisa, lift up. So everyone should feel and realize. Says the words of Ramesha, shebezeh kol echad margish, his nasos, the lifting up. Sheshavehu b'minyan lihimanos echad kimoi Moshe gadol ha'olam. Obvious words. Kisisa means to lift up. We've spoken so many times of our power, of each and every person's incredible abilities. but we have to actually start to believe it. How many people? It's funny, many of us just started Amid Yomi. It's a new program. So when Daf Yomi started 4 years ago, I remember that first year or two, there were so many people walking around that they didn't mean to start. They sort of got someone pushed them to go to the Siyam and they were there and they felt bad. And then some guy said, hey, come to Ashir and this and that. And before they know it, it was 2 months later, I was like, oh my, I just finished brachas. I don't even know what a Gemara is. And the guy finished brachas. And that same guy pushed along, and a few months later, hey, he finished Shabbos. And some of those people are still pushing, and months and years and time later, hey, you know what? I could actually read a piece of Gemara. Hey, I'm starting to understand this. Hey, it's not Chinese. Look, I just finished Baba Kama today. And where did that start from? That person was a mi'ani, who am I? But someone pushed him to do something. No. So if we realize that, yes, we are great. We just finished Amid Yaimi, just finished Brachas Amid Yaimi. So the mi'ani of Amid Yaimi takes so long to finish. I hear. It takes so long to finish. So why do it? Why do it? It takes you 15 minutes a day. So instead of the 15 minutes a day that, I don't know, every few months, hey, look, I just finished brachas. Hey, look, I finished Shabbos. And it's not the point of finishing. It's the point of what's a 15 minutes? What's a half hour? It's one little bit less of this. And then what happens? Yes, you could be great like Moshe Rabbeinu. And an incredible lesson, an obvious lesson. But as Mesilas Yesharim teaches us, and as many times as we'll repeat it, we just have to keep on reminding ourselves that yes, we could be great. And I like to add on, if we look in the world, in the secular world, in the world of wealth, in the world of success, quote unquote, in the secular world, the ages of success have significantly dropped in the last 10, 20, 30 years. You see younger and younger people doing things. And sometimes the naysayers will naysay. Well, the haters will hate, right? No, it's untrue and it's there. Whatever it is. But you see people doing big things. And it's not the point, and we always remind ourselves, it's not that, yes, if you didn't start that massive organization, you're a nothing. But let's realize we could do great things. We have to stop saying mi'ani as we start reading the parsha of Ki Sisa. Let us realize, let us picture in our minds that we're standing there. And one last short ma'isa. I was at Rav Elia Svei's Levaya. I was at the Levaya at JFK. It starts raining and everyone opens up a little umbrella and there's just tons of yeshiva guys all over the place. And we're just standing there. And all of a sudden, I look to my right, a little old guy there. I'm like, oh my God, it's Rav Shmuel Kamenetsky. Rav Shmuel, literally like this. So everyone realizes, back in the days, people still had flip phones. And people start taking flip phone pictures. It was gewaldic. And someone went to Yeshiva and said, Yeshiva, you wanna go to the front days? No, I was ready at the days in the Levaya in Philly. It's okay. And he just stood there like an average Joe. So that's the godless of Rav Shmuel, the Pashna Yid of Rav Shmuel, the Anova of Rav Shmuel. But you know what? Let's flip it a little bit. You know what else it is? That's the godless of each and every one of us. At that moment, we were all the same. We were all equal. Let's remember, we are, and if we were to give that machzeh shekel, we would give the same coin. And we all could and should do amazing